Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is September 1st, 2023, and the summer transfer market has officially closed about an hour ago. And as always, Barcelona all the way down to the wire, but definitely ending the summer transfer market with a bang, making two huge signings, signing Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo, but also offloading two players, which are Eric Garcia and Abde. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and man, what a crazy day. I was using two cell phones and a tablet just to keep up with what was going on in Barcelona. And at the same time, I was also at my office working. Needless to say, I haven't done much work today. I will have to catch up on the weekend. But it was an absolutely crazy day for FC Barcelona in the summer transfer market as usual. Now, of course, today is Friday, so there was no scheduled live stream, but there was so much to share with you. And I was so excited to share all this news with you that I decided to do a live stream instead, because making videos takes much longer. I have to film, edit, upload, etc. And I was just way too anxious to get on the camera and just share with you all the great news of today. So that's why I did this live stream. Now, this will be a short live stream, not a long one like the ones on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'm not going to do the chat section until the end, until I'm done with all the news. For those people who don't like the discussion, they like to just get to the news. So I'll do all the news, and then we'll do the comment section at the end of this live stream. Now, having said all of that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, especially the new jerseys of the new players that's just joined the club, make sure you hit the kit bag. And if you are looking for to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the bet us. Both links are down below in the description. Now let's start with today, because the summer transfer market has been crazy with lots of ups and downs, but it's finally over. And one of the things that Barcelona needed to finalize before the end of the deadline, before midnight or 11:59 p.m. on September 1st, was that registration of the pending contracts. Now, there were two players who were still pending their registration. Number one was Iñaki Peña, who is Barcelona's second goalkeeper. He hasn't played a single match yet. He usually does it until Copa del Rey. But anyways, he wasn't able to because he wasn't registered. And while Barcelona were able to register his contract yesterday, August 31st, in the late hours of the night. Now, having said that, there was still one contract left, and that was the contract of Íñigo Martínez, who until very late in the hours of the transfer market was still not registered. I was constantly checking La Liga's website, and La Liga's website ended up crashing. Summer transfer market ended up closing, and I was not sure whether he had been registered or not. Of course, if he hadn't been registered, that would have been a big problem. He would have missed the entire first half of the season. But once the website was up, I went on there, I checked, and lo and behold, Barcelona were able to register Íñigo Martínez minutes before the summer transfer market closed. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. All the pending contracts have been registered. Now, there was still the registration of Alejandro Balde. Of course, he was already registered as a Barcelona player. However, he was registered under his juvenil contract, so he was still under that contract of La Masia. And of course, Barcelona have renewed his contract, but they were still looking for space in the wage bill in order to register Balde's new contract as a first-team player. And well, it looks like he has been registered as a first-team player under his new contract, but I cannot confirm it yet. And the reason why is I was checking La Liga's website all day, and for several hours, Alejandro Balde's registration was changed to a first-team player with a number 3 jersey. But then after the website crashed and came back on, He's still registered, but he's registered without a number. So I cannot confirm 100% whether Balde has been registered as a first-team player. It looks like he has because it was showing on the La Liga's website for several hours, but now his number been removed, so we're not sure what is going on. I will have more news tomorrow, of course, once the whole dust settles, but for now, I cannot confirm, but I'm pretty certain, I would say about 90%, that Balde has been registered as a first-team player under his new contract, and it looks like he will be wearing the number 3 jersey. Now, let's talk about the exits. Now, I talked about in yesterday's video and the past few videos, there's been a lot of rumors about Eric Garcia leaving the club. Now, it looks like Girona had approached Eric Garcia. They had promised him some playing time, some kind of like a starting position on their team. And Eric Garcia was really, really lured by this opportunity. You know, he wants to go to Girona in order to get playing time, continue growing, continue developing, becoming a stronger player, and then coming back to Barcelona next season, much stronger, ready to fight for his time on the first team. Of course, I told you that Xabi was very much against this idea because Xabi wants as many substitutes as possible in the defensive line. He wants each position to have 2 players because, of course, the defense is very important. So he was against that idea. He tried to convince Eric Garcia to stay. But, of course, Eric Garcia was determined on going to search for more minutes and try to prove himself so he can earn a spot. Well, lo and behold, minutes after the market closed, it was announced that Eric Garcia has joined Girona on a 1-season loan. Now, this is a simple loan, no option or obligation to buy, and the player will be coming back in the summer of 2024. I, of course, as I've said before, I think this is a good idea for the player. Girona are a team full of young players. They know how to develop young players. They play really good possession ball under Mitchell. They also play very similar to Barcelona style of play. So I think this will be a very good for Eric Garcia to get more minutes, to continue growing and developing. And I have no doubt that next season he'll come back much stronger because I've always maintained this position that Eric Garcia is an excellent defender. He's a really good player with lots and lots of potential. But unfortunately, he hasn't been getting consistent playing time in Barcelona. And when you don't have consistent playing time, not only does it hinder his growth and development as a young player, but it also does not allow him to showcase his talent because even the best player in the world, even Messi, if you take out Messi for 10 matches straight and then you bring him in one match for 50 minutes, those 50 minutes are going to be awful because that's just how it is. When you don't play for too long and then you put back in, you're not going to showcase your best skills. And that's always been the case with Eric Garcia. Very inconsistent playing time. And I think that's why a lot of people hate on him. They think that he's a bad defender. He's not. He has lots of potential, lots of skill, but unfortunately, he hasn't been able to showcase that with the lack of minutes. Now, I do have a new bit of news, and it seems that one of the other reasons why Eric Garcia was allowed to join Girona, of course, Eric Garcia wanted to go to there for searching minutes, but it looks like Manchester City requested that Barcelona loan Eric Garcia to Girona. Now, you might say, why the hell is Manchester City asking Barcelona to do this? Well, Manchester City owns Girona, or it's more like the group that owns Manchester City also owns Girona. And as part of the deal to sign Cancelo, Manchester City requested that Barcelona loan Eric Garcia to Girona, kind of like to sweeten the deal because after all, Barcelona are getting away with a lot with the Joao Cancelo deal. You know, it's a 1-season loan. Manchester City are still going to cover part of the player's salary. They wanted an obligation to buy worth 60 million euros, which is not in a contract. So Barcelona have gotten away with a lot with this deal. And it looks like in order to sweeten the deal to make it a little bit more favorable for Manchester City, they requested that Barcelona loan Eric Garcia to Girona, which is owned by the same company that owns the Premier League club. So Eric Garcia off to Girona, 1-season loan, no option or obligation to buy. And the second player who has left Barcelona is Abde, who has joined Real Betis. Now, we've been talking about Abde for quite some time. after the Villarreal match where he wasn't subbed in. I was actually at the stadium, as you might recall. I saw him warm up, and then when he wasn't called in, he looked really upset. I was sitting very close to the pitch and to the bench. It's a very small stadium. He looked very, very upset, and after that match, he communicated to Barcelona that he wanted to leave the club because he wants more playing time. Of course, Barcelona met with him twice, 2 days in a row, to try to convince him not to leave, to let him know that Xabi thinks he's important, that he counts on him, that he wants to give him playing time, but of course he cannot guarantee him playing time or like a regular playing minutes. And it seems like Barcelona were unable to convince Abde, and Abde really continued to pressure the club all throughout today to leave. Of course, Real Betis were the most interested one. They were also pressuring to try to get Abde on a permanent transfer. And that's exactly what has happened, as Abde has joined Real Betis on a permanent transfer. Now, Barcelona will get 7.5 million euros for Abde. They will also retain 50% of any future sale. And finally, they have also reserved a buyback clause that we don't know how much is worth, but we do know that it has been inserted into the contract. Now, you might say 7.5 million euros, that's very, very low. And well, there are certain consideration here. First of all, Abde said that he only wanted to go to Betis, so that really forced Barcelona's hand to only negotiate with Real Betis. Of course, Real Betis are having huge financial fair play rule restrictions thanks to Tebas and his ridiculous rules. All La Liga clubs are suffering except Real Madrid. So Betis really could not offer much for the player. And since the player really insisted on Real Betis, Barcelona were forced to negotiate with them. And since Barcelona could not get, a lot of money out of the player, they negotiated that 50% of any future sales. Now, I still think that it's a good deal, because if Abde gets the playing time, which he will at Real Betis, he'll get plenty of time, and he ends up exploding or ends up increasing his market value, which I have no doubt that he will. I think he does have good potential, maybe not as much potential as he thinks he has, but I really think he has good potential. So if he lives up to that potential and Real Betis end up selling him, I don't know, for 50 million euros, we get 25 out of that 50 plus the 7.5 that we're already going to get. So it ends up being like a 32.5 million euro offer or deal. So I don't think it's completely a bad deal. I think that 50% of any future sale is key. And that's how Barcelona is going to be able to make up some of this money. Now, of course, Barcelona are not losing any money. I think they bought him for, it was 1 or 2 million euros. So they're selling them for 7.5. So it's still a profit. And whatever they get from any future sales, which it can only go up because he's only 21 years old. So his value is only going to go up. So Barcelona are guaranteed to get another chunk down the road. So I think overall was a good deal. So that's the two exits, Abde and Eric Garcia. So let's talk about the arrivals, because, ladies and gentlemen, what seemed like it was an absolutely impossible move that could never happen in a million years, but Barcelona have officially signed Joao Cancelo on a one-season loan. This is absolutely crazy, because if you would have told me at the beginning of the summer transfer market that Barcelona will be signing Joao Felix, I would tell you you're absolutely crazy, and I would ask you to recommend me to your drug dealer, because you're obviously doing some pretty good drugs. Because Cancelo, let's remember, Atletico Madrid paid for 126 million euros for him. They were obviously looking to offload him permanently. So there was no way Barcelona could afford 126 million euros or 100 million euros or however much money Atletico Madrid would have wanted. But, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have done it. Now, I told you in yesterday's video that Barcelona had reached a personal agreement with the player so he can come on a one-season loan. And the player was willing to reduce his salary. Of course, the only last hurdle left was Atletico Madrid, who were insisting on a loan transfer, a loan transfer fee. But Barcelona still did that personal agreement with the player because they were confident that Atletico de Madrid would get desperate enough during the final hours of the market and allow us to have him for free. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Atletico de Madrid got desperate. They don't want the player. They want to get rid of him. So they agreed to loan us Joao Felix, one-season loan, no obligation to buy, no option to buy, no loan transfer fee, absolutely nothing. He comes to play for Barcelona. Barcelona will pay 100% of his salary. And here is the cherry on top. Joao Felix actually restructured his agreement with Atletico Madrid, extending his contract till 2029 in order to lower his salary so Barcelona could afford it. I'll repeat that. Joao Felix extended his contract with Atletico Madrid from 2027 till 2029, reducing his salary so Barcelona could afford to pay it, because Barcelona will be paying 100% of his salary. That's an absolute win for Barcelona. They're getting a world-class player, one of the most talented players of his generation. They're not paying anything for him. They're only going to cover his salary, and it's going to be a reduced one. So a total win from Joan Laporta, it was literally his signing, not Xavi's. Laporta's the one who's been asking for, who's been wanting to bring Joao Felix kind of as a marketing move to bring, more people into the Olympic Stadium. And of course, also because Laporta is a big fan of Joao Felix. Now, talking about Joao's, let's talk about Joao Cancelo, who has also been confirmed as a Barcelona player. Of course, Barcelona had already reached an agreement with the player and with Manchester City like 2 weeks ago. Everything was agreed to. Everything was negotiated. It was a done deal. But Barcelona cannot make it official because they didn't have enough space on their wage bill. They were still waiting for that money for the activation of the economic lever, which still hasn't arrived as far as I know. But after Joan Laporta and Ferran Olivier put money out of their own pocket to guarantee the registrations of Iñaki Peña and Iñigo Martinez, it also helped to make space on the wage bill for Joao Cancelo, who has now been officially announced as a Barcelona player. He will arrive for a one-season loan. Again, no option or obligation to buy, even though Barcelona negotiated the option to buy worth 25 million euros. La Liga forbade Barcelona to include that option in the contract because it wouldn't have fit under the financial fair play rule restrictions. So no option or obligation to buy, simple loan, one season. However, and I forgot to add this in yesterday's video, there are reports stating that Barcelona have a private agreement with Manchester City for that option to buy. So looks like both clubs have still agreed that Barcelona would buy Joao Felix, or could buy Joao Felix next season. Sorry, Joao Cancelo next summer for 25 million euros. But on paper, of course, they had to remove it in order to fit the financial fair play rule restrictions. So Cancelo and Felix, both Barcelona players, both have been registered. We'll have to see whether they will play on Sunday against Osasuna. I highly doubt it. They are scheduled tomorrow to be presented as official Barcelona players at the Ciudad Esportiva, or the sporting complex where Barcelona trains. They're both going to be presented as Barcelona players. They will sign the contract in front of the cameras, and then there will be a press conference held by Xavi. Be careful, by the way. Pay attention to press conference. I'm pretty sure there's going to be shots fired because Joao Felix is really pissed at Atletico Madrid. I want to see what he has to say tomorrow. We'll definitely be monitoring that, and I will definitely be bringing you the news. So tomorrow, both players will train with the first team. Both players will be presented as Barcelona players. They will hold a press conference. So I highly doubt they'll play on Sunday against Osasuna. It's just too fast. But who knows? Maybe they're coming in a good shape, and maybe Xavi ends up giving them a few minutes. We'll see, but it's not likely. Now, that is not just it, guys. There is one more, because Barcelona have officially signed Mamadou Fall. I told you about this in yesterday's video. There was talks that Barcelona were in advanced negotiations for Mamadou Fall. He's a 20-year-old center back who currently plays for LAFC, or Los Angeles Football Club. He's one of the most exciting talents in the MLS. He spent last season in La Liga. He played a full season with Villarreal B on loan. And while Barcelona were able to beat Villarreal, because Villarreal were also in the race to sign him, And Barcelona have signed Mamadou Fall on a one-season loan until 2024 for Barca Athletic, and with an option to buy. So if he works out, then Barcelona could activate that option next summer. So crazy day, guys. Joao Cancelo, Joao Felix, and Mamadou Fall, all Barcelona players, with Eric Garcia leaving on a one-season loan. And of course, Abde leaving on a permanent transfer to Real Betis. I will be making kind of like a short summary in tomorrow's video. If not tomorrow's video, definitely Sunday's video about the whole summer transfer market, just recapping all the players that left, where did they leave to, how much money Barcelona got, and of course, all the players that have joined, how much they've joined for, and etc. Now, I do want to say this. I think we have to give a standing ovation to Barcelona because they have spent, what is it, 3.5 million euros this summer transfer market. And they have signed Inigo Martinez, Oriol Romeo, Ilkay Gundogan, Joao Cancelo, and Joao Felix for 3.5 million euros. Guys, in a day where clubs are spending 200, 300, 400 million euros per transfer market, Barcelona has spent 3.5 and have signed some world-class players. That's absolutely freaking amazing for people who always, like to share their negativity with the negative comments, constantly criticizing Barcelona or Laporta or the board of directors. Just take a step back and look at what Barcelona has accomplished. For 3.5 million euros, they have signed some of the best players in the world, while other clubs are spending 200 and 300 million euros. Absolutely amazing. I think we have an incredibly competitive team. I'm excited to see what this team will do. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think that Barcelona will win a treble. We're still very far away from that. But nonetheless, we have a very, very competitive team, and I'm excited to see what they will be able to do. Having said that, I do want to talk really quick about possible formations, because I kind of anticipated that people would kind of ask about this. So tell me what would be my possible formation with these players. So let's start with my 4-4-2 formation. I think against, I know some people don't like it, but I think against teams who are more of a threat, teams like Real Madrid, Champions League teams, I think we will have to use a 4-4-2. My option would be, of course, Ter Stegen in the goal, have Cancelo on the right back position, Araujo and Koundé in a center back. I think they're our best pair of defenders, with Balde, of course, on the left back position. In the midfield, I would keep Oriol Romeo and Frenkie de Jong kind of like in that double pivot position. We've seen it work wonders. The two together can really stop any attack. And then plus Oriol Romeo, who's an absolute bull, one of the best signings of Barcelona in the recent years. I think gives a lot of freedom to Frenkie de Jong to drive the ball forward, because it gives him that confidence. He knows there's someone covering his back. And I would have Pedri and Ilkay Gundogan playing as interiors, going through the middle, with Balde and Cancelo obviously coming through the wings. And then I would have Felix playing right behind Lewandowski, feeding him the ball, playing as a second striker who can also make those runs to the box and score. And I think that would be my ideal 4-4-2 formation against bigger, stronger teams. And of course, against smaller teams who like to park the bus or play with that low block defense, I would switch it up to a much more aggressive formation. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit small. But I would have Ter Stegen in the goal. I would have a 3-line of defenders with Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen. And then I would use Cancelo and Balde out wide as fullbacks, kind of running the entire field. I would still have Frenkie and Oriol in that double pivot position just to hold the midfield. And of course, I would do 3 attackers with Lamine Yamal and Joao Felix kind of unlocking that defensive block, and Lewandowski as the sole striker waiting for those balls. And of course, we can all expect Vitor Roque in the winter transfer market, who will also be substituting Lewandowski. Saying just that, guys, is fucking crazy. We have a team. We absolutely have a competitive team. After so many years since Luis Enrique left, having an Asian squad, failed signings, and just total decay of the first team, we finally have a competitive team. And I'm very, very excited to see what this team will be able to do. Now, having said all that, oh my God, this was supposed to be a short live stream. I'm at 25 minutes and I've been talking nonstop. It's just been a crazy, crazy day. Like I said, I had 2 cell phones and a tablet going at once, just like looking at what was happening. But it's over. It's done. I think Barcelona definitely hit a goal with this one. And now that I've shared all the news, let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. I think we could do a 30-minute live stream. Why not? There's still 5 minutes left, so we could do 5 minutes of comments, answering any questions you guys have. And of course, I will be putting timestamps and chapters in the timeline for those people who just want to skip through the news. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start with the most. Should I start at top? Should I start with the most recent? Oh my God, there's a lot of comments. This one really got away from me, guys. Okay, let's see. Manik says, if Xabi does not want Joao Felix, why did they sign him? He even doesn't have a place in the squad, doesn't suit our style. You're going to play him. Xabi eventually agreed to. He eventually didn't want him, not because he's a bad player. He just wanted a different profile of a player. But seeing that he wasn't going to get any of the signings that he wanted, such as, Bernardo Silva or Lo Celso, he eventually agreed to it. I think he does have a spot. Joao Felix is made to play the kind of football that Barcelona plays. He's a playmaker. He's a creator. To say that Joao Felix doesn't suit our style is absolutely incorrect. He absolutely fits our style. In fact, he is the kind of player that we're missing, a creator, which we don't have. Okay, let's see. What else? Chuchu says, Felix, Cancelo, Abde makes me happy. Banged average talent, acting like he's Vinny Jr. I agree. Honestly, I got sick and tired of Abde. I'm glad he left. He's demanding minutes, and people keep getting upset about me saying this. I don't know why. I don't know what Abde has done for so many people to defend him, because he's only played 1 season of top division football, and he played it at Osasuna and as a substitute. Are you telling me that a Osasuna substitute has the right to demand minutes at FC Barcelona? I don't think so. So I'm glad he's gone, because I was really excited when Xabi decided to keep him. Yeah, I think he has potential. I wanted to see what he was capable of. But the moment he started just throwing his tantrums, you either give me minutes or I leave, that's when I was like, you know what? Get this guy out of here. He has no right to demand anything. He's played 1 season at Osasuna as a substitute, and he wants to come to Barcelona and demand to play. Anyways, let's see. What else? Carlos says, so we started a great team with good depth, just needed to add Cancelo, to now getting rid of our depth and becoming an all right team. I don't know how you reached that conclusion. We just added world-class players to our team. I don't know how you think adding world-class players makes our team going from great to all right. I think you got your math backwards. Okay, let's see. Salah says, how is it going, Mo? Since it's my first live stream, but I have been watching all of your uploads, then I come to the perfect deadline day here from Egypt. All right. What's up, Salah? Welcome to the live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in more live streams. Okay. Let's see. What else? Odin says, Barcelona's biggest mistake that they didn't give the legend Sergio Roberto as a gift to Real Madrid to replace Benzema. I guess. I don't know what to say to that. All right. Let's see. What else? Kimchi says, I don't get why no buy option. Is it going to be activated next season? I don't know who you're talking about, Kimchi. If you're talking about Cancelo or Felix, the reason why is because there was no way we could fit it in the financial fair play rules. Okay, let's see. What else? The Matrix says, I think something is wrong at the club. Dembele leave, Abde leave, and Ansu leave. After all three stated they are staying. The moment Dembele leave, I know Ansu would leave after he hugged Dembele. I mean, there's nothing wrong at the club. Dembele chose to leave. There's the door. Abde chose to leave. There's the door. Ansu's just going on a one-season loan. He'll be back. I don't think that's something wrong with the club. It's just the players want to leave, they can leave. You cannot keep players who don't want to be there. You don't want that. I mean, why would you want to keep a player who doesn't want to be there? For anyone who wants to leave, the door is there. There are thousands of players who would die at playing 1 minute for Barcelona, and here we are. We got to beg Abde, who played one season as a substitute for Osasuna. We're supposed to beg him to stay. Get out of here. Okay. Let's see. Brian says, Mo went from not wanting to start Lamine this season to starting him. I never said I didn't want to start him. I said he should not be a definitive starter. That's different. You can still start Lamine in matches. I just don't think he should start every match because he's 16 years old. He's still developing, not just as a footballer, but his body. He's still developing his body. He's still growing. And the last thing you want to do is start him in every match, playing him 90 minutes of every matches, and then completely burn him out because that's not good in the long run. Dembele, the reason why Dembele is one of the most injury-prone players to play in Barcelona, and this, by the way, it's not an opinion. This is his actual doctors have come out and showed and proved. The reason why Dembele is so injury-prone is because when he was young, when he was a teenager, he was overplayed and overused. So they played him so much and used him so much that they completely burned him out. And that's why he's so injury-prone. And that's the last thing you want to do for Lamine Yamal is completely burn him out when he's young and then end up having a player with lots of skill and lots of talent who gets injured every other day like Dembele was. So I never said we shouldn't start him at all. I just don't think he should be starting every match because we need to protect him. He's still 16 years old. He's still growing. And I'm not talking about football-wise. I'm talking about his body is still growing. He's still developing. He freaking wears braces, for God's sake. He's a child. We can't have him start every match. Okay, let's see. What else is everyone saying? Romain says, if Xavi plans to use Roberto in the midfield, who's going to be our right back sub, especially when we start playing 2 games a week? It's a good question. I'm guessing he'll probably use Araujo and Kunde as substitutes and kind of rotate them. Let's not forget, we did sign Triyi for Barca Athletic, who's a very promising right back. He played in the 2nd division. Barcelona want to see how that goes. If that goes well, he could very well come up to this first team and maybe rotate. So we do have Triyi in the Barca Athletic, but of course he still has to prove himself. Okay, what else? What else is everyone saying? Wow, 325 people watching, guys. I think that's a record. The record was 200 something, and now it's 300. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a crazy day, but I'm glad it's over. It was a good day, and I am very excited. Make sure to hit that like button in order to prompt YouTube to recommend this video to other people. David says, remember when we had a player named Ousmane Dembele? Yeah, well, neither can I. I don't. I mean, Dembele who? So I guess that's a good thing. And one last comment, JK says, JK from Australia. All right. What's up, JK? I think you're the first Aussie to ever, I don't know if to ever watch the last year, but definitely to ever leave a comment. So that's freaking awesome that you're watching from Australia. He says, you are doing a great job bringing us the most accurate Barca news. Thank you, JK. It's awesome people like you that keep me going. Hope to keep you all informed. And maybe we'll do one more. Let's see. The Matrix says, nope, we need to tie down Yamal with a big contract the moment we can. We can't because under FIFA rules, when you're under 18, you can only sign 3-year contracts. So Yamal has only extended his contract for 3 years. Once he's older, he'll be able to sign for more years. Okay, let's see. I think that is it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I know this was an unplanned live stream, but again, I was so excited to share all this awesome news with you guys that I just wanted to get on on camera, just give it you the news rather than spend all that time filming and editing and producing and uploading. So thank you for joining the live stream. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. So have a good night or good morning wherever you are in the world. Have a blessed weekend. I hope you guys go out tonight and celebrate this amazing transfer market. I sure will be. So I might be maybe a little bit hungover in tomorrow's video, but that's okay. I deserve a break. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. As always, and more than ever, Visca Barça.